I searched my parents' names on the dark web. The videos I found were horrifying. When my friend Rupert introduced me to the dark web, I thought it was just a strange curiosity. For months, I only used it to learn coding tricks and explore obscure forums. But after what I found today, I'm never going back. Rupert and I had been best friends since my family moved 2 years ago. My parents were paranoid after our neighbor was murdered, so we uprooted our lives and started fresh. Rupert was a tech genius, obsessed with all things internet. He'd spend hours on the dark web, exploring everything it had to offer. It was harmless, or so I thought. This morning, I woke up to a flood of texts from him. Rupert wasn't the type to message much, so I knew something was wrong. His messages were frantic. "Jack, come over now. This is urgent. Please hurry." By the time I got to his house, I knew it was bad. Police cars lined the street, and reporters crowded the front yard. His mom let me inside, tears streaming down her face. "Rupert's missing," she said. My heart sank. A detective in the kitchen tried to reassure me, but his words felt empty. Something about the way he spoke made it seem like they didn't expect to find him alive. I showed them Rupert's texts, hoping it might help. The detective's expression changed when he read them, and they confiscated my phone for evidence. Rupert's room was quiet, untouched, like he'd just stepped out. His computer caught my eye. It was still on. The monitor was off, so I turned it on. My stomach dropped. He had dozens of tabs open, each one an article about violent crimes. They detailed gruesome murders, each one worse than the last. One article hit close to home. It was about our old neighbor, the one whose death had made my family move. Panic set in when I saw the last tab. Rupert had searched my last name. I didn't stick around. I told his mom I needed to go home and bolted out of there. My thoughts raced the whole way back. Why was Rupert searching my family? Did he think I was involved? Back in my room, I opened my laptop and dove into the dark web myself. Typing in my last name felt like crossing a line I couldn't come back from. The page loaded slowly, but when it did, I froze. It was a collection of videos, each one a recording of a murder. My hands trembled as I clicked on the first video. It showed a woman tied to a chair, screaming for her life. I recognized her tattoo. It was our old neighbor. Two figures stepped into frame. I nearly stopped breathing. It was my parents. I watched in horror as they tortured her, their faces expressionless as she begged for mercy. Blood pooled beneath her as her screams faded. My parents had killed her. I couldn't believe it. My mind raced back to Rupert's warnings. He wasn't accusing me. He was trying to protect me. There was a new video uploaded today. My heart pounded as I clicked it. A man sat tied to the same chair, a sack over his head. My parents entered the frame again. My dad pulled off the sack, and I finally saw who it was. It was Rupert.